as an A&R, we were kind of in the spotlight when it came to people trying to find bands.
Really?
Yeah, we're getting up there.
What's up, everyone? My name is Skylar Woods. This is CEO Local. And with me today, I have Ezykiel Vigil, who is a former Colorado Springs resident turned Fort Collins guy. So for those of you who don't know, and just to kind of get things started, Ezykiel is a photographer behind Green Patch Jacket, but he's also done work for a lot of other companies in other realms related to the music industry. So A&R for Standby Records, content production with Colorado Music, reporting and photography for Salt Magazine, and then now a brand new venture with a Philadelphia-based startup, Waves, which we'll be talking about later on in the episode, because it does involve some things that actually create opportunities for musicians here in the local community. So, you're obviously not fucking busy at all.
Yeah, not at all.
Never. Having the opportunity to work in all these different segments of the music and entertainment industry, how has that sort of shaped your skill set today? Because it seems like you're pretty multifaceted. A&R, reporting, photography, obviously, and then now some videography stuff.
Yeah, I just kind of do everything that I think is cool, and I kind of fall into it, just put out applications, people accept it, and I think I'm not doing anything any other 21-year-old is doing in Colorado Springs, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it definitely is, man. I can see you out there hustling, and the fact that you're just you have a positive attitude about it, right? There's two different types of people, right? There's guys like you who are like, you know what? I'm just going to shoot my shot, and whatever comes my way, I'm going to be happy about the opportunities and make the most of them. And there's other people who are like, nothing fucking works out for me. It's everybody else's fault. And they just kind of point the finger everywhere rather than being like, what am I doing to make this manifest for me?
Yeah.
So I see you as the opposite of that. You're one of those people who's out there just working for it, and it looks like you're so fortunate, but the truth is you're out there making these things happen.
Yeah, 100%.
So your photography company is called Green Patch Jacket, as I mentioned before.
Yeah.
And that was something you started from the ground up. How old were you when you started that?
Well, it kind of came out of Colorado punk, but I didn't feel like the punk thing vibed with me too well.
Yeah, you change, you grow, and it's I get what you're saying.
You can't be a 21-year-old punk. You know what I mean? It ends after high school, and you can't really continue that. But yeah, everybody started recognizing that I had a Green Patch Jacket, and I was like, I had done shots for Dog Party and Party Baby and a couple others that were really big East Bay scene people, and they're like, holy shit, you're the guy with the green patch that lives in Colorado. And I was like, I thought about it, I was like, I might as well run with that. So
that's a good idea. I mean, never underestimate something as small as not to call it a gimmick in a minimizing way.
Oh, yeah.
But that thing probably was not what you expected for people to remember you.
Yeah.
But it's it almost creates a symbolism around what you're doing that people are like, ah, yes.
Yeah.
That's that guy. And they associate it then later down the road with what they saw in your work, right?
100%.
Which is, I love when something like that organically happens because it just works so well in favor, too, of what you're doing, right? When people think of that now, that it means you. So then, with Green Patch Jacket, you started out working with musicians, right? Freelancing for them, taking pictures of their shows. How did that work?
So my first band that I saw was Swimmers. I can't really shout them out anymore because there was a bunch of stuff that happened. But,
sure. Yeah, I get you.
Musicians.
Yep. You sons of bitches, always.
Right. And I kind of fell into it. Their photographer, I was like, holy shit, you can get to concerts for free if you just have a camera, and people will pay
I know
you.
What a revolution to have. Right? Remember the first time I got a press pass, I was like, God damn, this is sweet.
Right. I don't have to pay for anything.
I've been fucking up and paying for shows. How did 2020, when COVID pandemic lockdowns and stuff happened, where in all of these careers were you? Was it a good timing in a sense of obviously there's nothing good about it, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did it interrupt any of the stuff you were doing? How were you impacted?
I was actually a delivery driver that whole time, and that kind of supported my bills. And then there was a little bit of falling out with the company that I worked for, and I was getting really scared. I was like, what am I going to do? And then this past month, I was like, well, it was probably 2 or 3 months.
Okay.
I was really thinking, I was like, well, I need to just go for it right now. No one else is, everybody's hiring. Nobody really wants to find a job right now. I don't blame you. I'm not trying to shame anybody here.
Right.
But yeah, it's the time time right now to find your dream job and just shoot for it, because everybody's looking for somebody and everybody's looking to train somebody. I have no college experience, and I have gotten a job that pays me more than I have ever been paid in my life.
That's awesome. Every project, everything that you do literally can be the platform for the next thing that you do.
100%.
Right? Like, you know, it always leads to something else, provided that you show up with the right mentality and you just want to be of service to what you're doing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It benefits in many ways, right? Like how far you've come in just such a short amount of time is, wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, it's been a hard 4 years now, but it's definitely been worth it. I just kind of want to set an example for the kids that were my age when they were 16. And
was there a mindset shift anywhere, that something that caused it, or?
I think I got to the point where there was some people talking to me and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I want to do what you do," and they were younger than me. I think it was Liz Michelle. She shoots and she has her own band, and
Denver, Fort Collins,
down here in Springs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and
we'll
we talked a little bit. We shot at that CL local show about 2 years ago, and that was definitely something where I was like, oh my gosh, like there's people my age doing this now, and I just need to show a good example. I mean, musicians also show a good example, please, because there's a lot of you that don't. But yeah, and I kind of starting to take it on myself to like kind of change around some of the bad things that have been happening around here, and kind of making it a more inviting scene. And I've always been trying to, like, ever since I started, been trying to get all of the scenes together. That way everybody can like kind of support each other and work off of each other, because when a scene is connected like that, it's hard for a record label to be like, oh, well, we want to only sign this band, or we're looking for bands. And when I was in A&R, it was always hard to find other bands because nobody was really working with each other in a way where you could follow the stream. And that's just something that I think we need to continue to do, because Colorado as an A&R, we were kind of in the spotlight when it came to people trying to find bands.
Really?
Yeah, we're getting up there.
Man, see, I love hearing that kind of stuff, because like I resonate with all of those philosophies so deeply, man.
Yeah.
Seriously, like everything that I do, I feel like at its core purpose, it comes down to that first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like yes, I love my studio and I love working, but I think about a lot of what you're saying, right? Like I want to build more connection between what's already here, because I hear, just getting to work with people, I hear so many incredible musicians where I'm like, God, like there's no fucking way that there's not 100,000 people out there who want to listen to this.
Yeah.
There definitely is, because it's fucking good. I could listen to it 1,000 times and not get over it. You know what I mean?
100%.
And so it just seems such like a weird restriction that we live in this kind of strange pocket where it's not gotten a lot of attention yet. But you're right. People like you, what we're doing here, people like, the punk rock army that are kind of just raising this platform collectively higher and higher, and then bringing more people into the fold, it does garner the attention of that more national scale, which at the end of the day is really what's going to transform this from just being, the artists that you meet locally to giving them that springboard they need to become a career artist.
100%.
Yeah, I wish, obviously I wish it was already there, but over the last like 2-3 years, maybe even close to 4 years, really, I've just been so inspired by all of the things that I've seen that that's really what motivates me to keep running it, because I feel like it's just so close. So hearing that there's people who are also looking like, wow, these guys are right on the verge,
100%.
That makes me feel so fucking grateful to hear. Thank you.
Sometimes it just needs, a lot of these bands just need a little push or guidance. A lot of these bands also don't understand marketing, and it's kind of, it's the unfortunate part. There's a lot of bands that I'm like, dude, just market it. I want to see you do good. Like, and more people need to like your music. But
as like the producer that works with, bands locally and stuff, and you're so right.
Yeah.
Artists need like their own training course in this. Like, it's like band managers, booking agents. It's like, these are all jobs, sure, but there should be like a fundamentals course, right, that teaches musicians the like basics and foundational parts of all these different things, because that alone would give them so much more of a high level insight into the actual power and control they have over what's happening, rather than always just being like victims of circumstance, right? Because I see so often somebody releases a record, They promote it all the way up until the time the record comes out, and then they promote it the day the record comes out, and then you don't ever see them talk about that fucking album again for like a year and a half.
Even if it's a 10 out of 10.
Yes. And then you're like, dude, you should at least once a month put something out there. Remind people you're there.
Yeah.
There's always new people who didn't hear it that first fucking lead up, right? There's other things they could do, get in shows like this, maybe do like hire a guy like you to come and shoot the their next show.
Affordable.
Exactly. and shoot their next show so that way they got some cool and interesting shit to put on their Instagrams or whatever. It's like there's so many avenues to keep people's attention.
Definitely.
But I just don't think that anyone is really communicating or showing people the importance of all of that.
100%. Yeah, it's a rough business. The biggest part about being in a band is your marketing, because I know bands that suck ass.
Right.
And they're
how do they do it?
Perfectly well, yeah.
Because they're marketing themselves.
Yes.
And if you have something, even if it's okay, people will, a certain amount of people will come to it, right?
Yeah, I suck at photography, and here I am.
He's like, look at me.
Yeah, I'm just a 21-year-old with a camera that has been working his whole life trying to do it, but I'm still not great by any means. There's definitely people that are Mark Tepsick and Backstage Flash and Krista Brewer, all better than me, and they're way smarter than I am.
But you know what? That's why you're getting better, though, is because you're willing to say, I might not be the best in the room,
100%.
but I can learn from these people.
Yeah.
And if I can just get near them or learn something from what they're putting out, like you're looking at it all as a way. There's actually a term. It's coming to me. Autodidactic. You ever heard this?
No.
It means you're like a self-learner. Okay, so like what you need to know to get where you want to go, you tell yourself that you can become that or learn it. Whereas there is another form of train of thought where it's like people say they are the way that they are and that can't change.
Yeah.
So they're like, either I'm a drummer and I'm only good at drums and that's what I do.
Yeah.
Or you're a musician and you play drums, but you could also learn the guitar, right?
Definitely.
Like you see what I'm saying? There's two different ways that your brain works.
100%.
And I think that removing those limitations from yourself is really what allows you to get to where you want to be.
100%. Be your own critic. That's the only way you get better, is by being honest with yourself. Be like, I sucked. I sucked when I first started. I really did. If you look at those first Backseat Vinyl pictures, they're shit. They paid me $20 to shoot at Moe's, and it was all grainy. And it was like a little point-and-shoot Sony that I got from my grandpa.
Nice.
And they sucked. They sucked, and they stuck with me. And I got better, and they believed in me, and I just continued to do my job.
Yep.
And here I am.
Here you are. Yeah, that's cool. Actually, that reminds me, too, of like some of my first projects. Like, when I started doing audio in 2015, the beginning of 2015, it was like the first 2 or 3 projects I have, if I go back and listen to those now, I mean, they're fucking horror shows. Like, I sentimentally love them still so much because they're just like, they mean a lot to me. But at the end of the day, when I see where I was and what I wanted to be, and then I look at where I am now, I'm like, wow. I'm glad I believed in myself enough to get through that.
100%.
Because it's not about whether or not you can or can't. It's just like, that's one milestone, and then here you are today at another.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and it's not something everybody can do. I'm not trying to be like Joe Rogan about it. Like, just go get your gains, man. Like,
go get them.
But, if you put yourself to it, you'll see some results, at least a little bit of results, even if you're not good.
Definitely.
And just keep your confidence. That was the one thing I had worked on this past year, was confidence.
Yeah, that's true. Really, believing in yourself. 100%. And just like you said, confidence in your ability to just be like I keep saying, shoot your shot.
Yeah.
A lot of times the people don't do that. It's insecurity and doubt.
Yeah.
Right? It's not about ability, right? It's just about telling yourself, if this works out, I'm going to rise to the occasion. Because I think there's a lot of like underlying fear with things like, well, maybe I don't shoot my shot because then I don't have to worry about if I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was the one thing I kept in my mind, I guess, forever, was most people regret things that they don't do.
Yeah.
At least I personally do. And that's kind of been my motto. Like, do I want to work with this band? Hell yeah. I'll send a message to Dallin Weeks. And
why not?
Worst case scenario, he uses my picture for free. And sure enough, he used my picture for free. And now I'm working on doing photos for
there you go.
Some guy that I knew as a child as an emo phase.
See, exactly, right. It's not always just about like how much every project is worth. It's about what it's worth to you.
Yes, 100%.
Man.
Just be honest with yourself.
Definitely. That's great fucking Ezekiel, thank you so much.
Definitely.
This has been seriously like an absolutely fantastic conversation.
Of course, yeah.
You were the right kind of person for these like CO Local one-on-ones. We have another episode in this series coming out pretty soon that's going to be a guy named Ryan Kahn who has this company in town called Under the Mountain Cases. Nice. And he like builds custom flight cases for a lot of these touring acts who need like, yeah, I was going to say, who need like special things, but like even for photographers, it's not just musicians. He does, you know, he does like recording equipment, travel gear.
Awesome.
So I'll get you linked in, but then also, you know, I'll get you a business card because if you ever reach any musicians who are like, man, we need some extra touring shit, this isn't working, he's the guy to call.
All right. Yeah, definitely. And any sort of networking, that's like also a big thing.
Yeah,
like
totally.
All networking.
Yeah, never forget a person you met.
Yeah, 100%.
That's for fucking sure. Because you never know what they're going to be doing in 2-3 years.
Yeah, 100%. Shout out to Cam again. Like him and Quentin, like you guys set me up for success, and I owe you guys a lot. I know things didn't go so well with certain people in that group, but you know, you guys really helped me out, and I really appreciate it. And you guys are genuinely good people. There's not a lot of people out there, even in our music scene, that are like that.
I'm glad you have some people that you've met that you can say that about, because that always is very encouraging.
Yeah, I'll never forget those guys.
All right. Any other shout outs before we close?
I guess shout out to Waves. Shout out to all the bands in Denver that I've worked with. I've worked with Backseat Vinyl, especially Backseat Vinyl, and then Keenan's Bloom Boy Music, and then Clara's own music project. I forgot what it's called. Sorry, Clara, but you guys are like, you guys believed in me as well. You guys were the first band that paid me and kind of made me believe in myself. And yeah, you guys kept me in contact with a lot of cool bands. I met like some of my heroes shooting for Backseat Vinyl, so
that's awesome.
It was fun. Oh, also shout out to UMS. They're like coming back in August, and I'm gonna be there. So if you see me, I'm probably gonna be wearing the same thing. If not, you'll see a
Where's the green patch?
Jacket. Yeah. Well, it's in my. I think it's in the back of my car. I don't really wear it other than to like promote myself, so I'm not gonna be weird.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. All right, everyone. That does it for today's episode. But I wanted to give a big thanks again to Ezekiel for coming down today. Again, Definitely. I know it's a long drive.
Oh yeah.
Don't sleep on the opportunity to reach out to Waves. That way, if you do have the right kind of music for what they're looking for, you get a chance to be paid for what you're doing and validate your hard-ass work. All right? Also, if you liked what you heard today, be sure to follow our Instagram and Facebook pages at This Is CO Local. Also, make sure to subscribe to our Spotify artist page and YouTube channels so that way you can check out all of our CO Local compilations and any of the videos and things we got coming out for you guys. Again, thank you, man.
Yeah, sick.
You fucking killed it.
Of course, yeah. It's good
Peace.
to see other people.